Hi, blessings. Thanks for coming to Pizzo's Perfection. I'm thinking about changing the name to Pizzo's Pages. Pizzo's Pages. I don't know. I like perfection because perfection 2D is quite essential. Got to live up to his potential. I work real hard all day and night. Yeah, I was in my little young teen group and my name was Perfection. And that was the rap I used to sing. And I got to sing that to DMC because he was at an event I went to. So I don't know. I'm thinking Pages sort of goes a little bit better. Today, what we're going to cover is What I'm Loving Kid Lit. What I'm Loving Kid Lit. You guys know I do these What I'm Loving series, and these are picture books that I'm going to be covering today. Hopefully you can go out and share some of these wonderful stories with the young ones in your life. I have about a series of 4 or 5 already out. Go back and look through. Books never get old. The wonderment of them never grows old. So it will be great for you to pick up some. The holidays are fast upon us. I don't know. I think it's like 120 days, something like that. And we'll be in that Christmas time. So if you are thinking about buying some gifts, yeah, buy the toys and all of that fun stuff, but buy books. I got books for Christmas almost every year when I was a kid. And so get a couple of books, and I want to give you some ideas of what I'm loving right now, truly what I'm loving. So the first book is from someone local in my state. It's called Hair Like Mine. And this is by Latasha M. Perry, Hair Like Mine. It's a fun and easy read, following a little girl who doesn't like that her naturally curly hair looks different from the other kids around her. On her quest to find someone with hair like hers, she soon realizes we are all unique and special in our own way. What I'm loving most about this book is it's self-published. It's self-published, and yet the illustrations are fabulous. Typically, picture book illustrations, self-published, not so great. If you want to prove me wrong and send me a couple of them, okay. But on the most part, I don't know what the process is to get that illustration onto the page, but there's definitely a difference. And the problem with that is that children are very visual in this age range where picture books are prominent in their reading, and they can tell. And so you want them to be very engaged by those illustrations. But these illustrations are wonderful in this story. It's a message that everyone is different. It is a little didactic, not super crazy about the text because it's a little bit cliche, and I've read it several times before, but the illustrations are worth every dime of it. Look at those pictures. Look at that hair. It's wonderful, and the hair is very representative of the naturals movement right now. And this is still a very prevalent issue. We keep talking about sometimes you say, why do we keep going to these hair books? Why is hair such a major thing that we are still addressing this issue? But the reality of it is an issue. It is an issue. And so I'm loving this book. I'll tell you this little story. Oh my goodness. Little story time of why this book and so many books that address African American hair is still very relevant today and still important. I was in church, had crept in late. You know how you tiptoe late, so you sit in the back almost near where the ushers are sitting because they sit on the back row. And so I crept in with my crew late. Praise the Lord. I was still in the house of the Lord, still made it. And I'm sitting behind an African-American woman, and she had an African-American little girl, an African-American little boy, and then a white little girl with her, a Caucasian little girl with her. And I got the sense right away, based on her age, based on the children's appearance, that they were either in foster care or something on that line, okay? And I work in a lot of that space, and so that's what I really got the cue that they were. The little Caucasian girl hair was just, blonde and brushed straight down. Nothing to it, no bows, no ribbons, nothing like that. It was just long and straight down. And I would say these children were probably 8 and 9 years old. And the little African-American girl, her hair looked like that she had tried to really quickly just brush it up a little bit, but it needed a lot of help to be just groomed. Plain old groomed. I'm not saying it needed to be pressed or it needed to be braided or nothing, but it did not look groomed. Even some of her clothing and her attire didn't quite look like she was well cared for. Okay, without making a whole lot of judgment on her. But what was so heartbreaking is we were sitting there and, praise, worship, the whole nine, and then the preaching starts. And I'm watching them interact a little bit. And this is 2019, people. 2019. We got all kind of beautiful women of color with natural hair flowing on TV, Viola snatching wigs, just all kind of that beauty. We got a lot of foolishness in the beauty area for Black women too, but the natural movement is just vibrant and beautiful and out there. 2019. But I saw this little girl, African-American little girl, lay her head on the Caucasian's little girl's shoulder and take her long blonde hair and smooth it over onto her to cover her hair and put it over her blonde hair. And oh my goodness, the face, the look of just sheer delight and joy that she could pretend that Caucasian girl hair was her hair for that moment was completely heartbreaking to me. Completely heartbreaking to me. And I came home. My daughter who lives in New York is all natural girl, been all natural girl forever, and was pretty much all natural. Even in my house, I kept her in braids forever. And then when she finally demanded a perm, I let her do a perm, and we immediately knew, we might want to come out of this, and she did. But I told her the story, and she said in her millennial wisdom, she has a long, 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 hard road to self-love. Oh, a long, hard road to self-love. And that is why I'm loving Hair Like Mine. It's affirmative. It affirms the little girl, her hair, her experience with her hair. Her mom rocks the same experience. She has the support to affirm her, even though she's feeling a certain kind of way about her hair. And so that's why I'm loving this book. It is very affirming and really speaks to having that self-love about our hair, our skin complexion, all things that make us Black, beautiful, and gifted. So I'm loving this book. I'm loving this book. It's not divisive in any way. If there's a such thing as divisive, I'll speak on that another thing. It's not divisive to support and celebrate who you are. And so that's what this book is that I'm loving. Hair Like Mine. Woohoo! All right, the next one. I love this book. I struggle as a writer with being someone who is silly. I'm not silly. I want to be silly because I want to produce books that bring that type of joy to children. Yeah, it's nice to hear about the 150,000 amazing black person that did an amazing thing. But I just want to be able to produce some pure giggles and joy and laughter out of my work for my youngest readers. And that's what this book does. It is Billy Blue is Stuck in Goo. And that goo looks like the Nickelodeon slime. I remember every year my daughters would watch Nickelodeon Awards and wait for the slime to drop, and it was just so much fun. And so that's what that looks like. But Billy Blue is Stuck in Glue. This is by Jennifer Hamburg. Illustrations by Ross Barach. This is illustrated by B. Jackson. I'm sorry, B. Jackson. Hair like mine. But again, Billy Blue is Stuck in Glue. This is Jennifer Hamburg and Ross Barach. Oh, I love it. It is pure silly, entertaining, and light. Pure silly. It is the perfect bedtime read where you could just go to sleep listening to your young one giggle. I love that. I love the illustrations, and I love the dialogue bubbles. So these are some of the illustrations. They cover the whole page, but that goo is everywhere. Do. Hear ye? It is I, the queen. I've come to do a queenly thing. My nobles, 17 in all, will get you out, and they won't stall. The nobles take a flying leap. So that's some of the language. Oh my, look at that goo. I love the goo. The goo is everywhere in all shapes and sizes. It's a little reminiscent of the old lady who swallowed the fly. Oh me, oh my. Why? It's a little reminiscent of that because this goo sort of continues to grow, and more gets stuck in it than Billy Blue. But I just love it. The illustrations are fun and quirky, and they are representative of African Americans, but there's also all other kinds of fun, hilarious quirkiness all through in it. They have the cutest dialogue bubbles. I wish he made 2 times more popcorn. Where are my pants? Pirate. The dialogue bubbles are, I feel like, for the parents because they're snarky and sarcastic, and I ended up throughout the reading of the book looking specifically for the dialogue bubbles. I really love this book. I love Billy Blue is Stuck in Goo. This is a great book to give as a gift. It's a wonderful book for a bedtime story that 3 to 5-year-old, I can see you camping out and having this book and then making even some slime because slime is huge. So I can see a whole fall Saturday where you make the slime, you read this book, you do a little in the living room camp out. It's just a really fun book. Maybe even connected to the Nickelodeon award ceremony. Do they still splash with the slime? I think so. Well, I love this book. Alrighty. I'm loving it. I usually put sticky notes. I read the book and then I go through it again and I add some sticky notes just so that I know what I'm going to say to you when I finally make the video. And this book has 2 sticky notes because I loved it. This is The Runaway Walk. It is fabulous. It's by Ying Chang Composton, illustrated by Sebastian Serra. I apologize. Serra. Sebastian Serra and Ying Chang Composton, A Chinese New Year Tale. With a skippity hoppity ho, a magical, mysterious walk rolls into town. The clever walk knows just where to go to get treats for the poor families. And it might be just the ticket to a festive Chinese New Year. Just the ticket for a festive Chinese New Year. It is beautifully illustrated, very reminiscent of Asian American culture, Chinese children's picture books. There's one of my all-time favorite Asian picture book writers. I love their work, and if I ever can afford every one of their books, I plan to buy it just to have in my collection of books. Like I need more collections of books. But Demi. And this book kind of remind me, is reminiscent of Demi and a lot of that work. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It tells a wonderful tale about this magical walk that sort of corrects some wrongs that are pushed upon the poor people in the region. And the reality of it is that there's a class system, and this walk is magically coming against the class system. Yeah. So I love that. The illustrations are gorgeous. It's very, very true to folk tales in this region. The element of magic, the element of multi-generational. So it's a traditional folk tale, cultured very much of the culture. Illustrations are colorful. Focal viewpoint to broad, larger. So you have this one focal area and then it broadens it out and makes it a larger, broader viewpoint. It sweeps you into Beijing stories within stories. And it's extremely imaginative. And I haven't done any research on these. I used to do a lot of Asian literature in my class, especially my creating writing class. If you've never read A Single Shard by Linda Sue Park, you are missing out. It is YA middle grade. And that book, for me, revolutionary. But I also like Lawrence. I love his work. I used to teach his work. We actually made Chinese kites, because he has The Kite Fighter, I believe is the name of that book that I used to teach from. I probably have read almost all of Linda Sue Park's work. When My Name Was Kyoko, Sadako, The Thousand Cranes, just powerful work, and I just love it. This is multi-generational, very true to the culture. It's a celebration. There's a lot of community, lots of community in this. It's a great representation of the culture, and it has a very surprising ending. I love that. This is a great story. It's great for Chinese New Year, but I just think it's important to make sure you're inclusive and bringing diverse stories into your classroom and into your homes and with all of the little ones that you share stories with. So this is a wonderful one. I'm loving it. The Runaway Walk. I love it. All right. The next one, classic favorite is Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type by Doreen Cronin. Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type, pictures by Betsy Lewin. There's a whole series of these. And last year for March's Reading Month, every year I get asked based on my professional role to read during March's Reading Month in classes. And last year I picked Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type. And I think I read to 4 preschool classrooms and 1 or 2 kindergarten classrooms were the invitations that I could handle last year. And I read this one to everyone, and oh my goodness, by the time you say the second or third click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, everyone's saying it with you. That pattern, that rhythm, they get it and they begin to say it with you. And the illustrations are great. The story is just funny. It's silly, it's funny, but this story also has some complexities to it. I love that about it. It's just so cute. Clothes, no milk, no eggs. That whole protest story of give me what I need so I can give you what you want. But I love that those little voices, without you even having to tell them, having to say, repeat after me, or we're about to say, click, clack, moo, they pick up patterns of speech and of literature, and they do it on their own. That is what that progress and growth to becoming a emergent reader is. So by the time you say the second click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo repetition, they know it when it's coming the next time. And you hear all of those voices chime in. It's such a cute series. There's far more than one, so you can go through all of them. If you struggle with what to read next, you can go through all of them. Easy bedtime read, very easy bedtime read. Definitely helps with that emergent, ready to read leveling. Just great, 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 great. So I'm loving it. Click, clack, boo, cows that tight. Alrighty. This one is the next one I wanted to show, which is My Cold Plum Lemon Pie Bluesy Mood. That is a mouthful. My Cold Plum Lemon Pie Bluesy Mood. And it's by Tamika Fryer Brown, illustrated by Shane W. Evans. Look at that picture on the back. I love that it's a little African-American boy. I'm a mama of little African-American boys. That's not so little anymore. But My Cold Plum Lemon Pie Bluesy Mood, it is fabulous. The words are crafted with the wonderful sing-song rhythm. They have so much color and life and vividness to them. They just sweep you away into the world of the main character. And they are imaginative, and I just love it. I love this book. It's just a really nice story. There's so many different levels to it that you can unpack, from the illustrations to the color to the language to the rhythm to the words. There's just a lot you can unpack in this story, and I love it. So I'm just going to read this very first page because I want you to go out there and get it. You want a Christmas gift? That's a great Christmas gift. They open it up and they say, oh, a book, and you pull them onto your lap and read it to them right there. You got a memory. You have a memory right there. All right. I'm in a mood, a feeling kind of mood. A being kind of mood is what I'm in. A purple kind of mood. Cold plum eating, grape juice drinking on the couch, bopping to the beat kind of mood. A purple kind of mood. That's what I'm in. So that's the first page. But what's so wonderful is that each page brings a different mood in this kid's life. I think it's a wonderful way to help them unpack emotions and feelings and some of that social emotional development. If this was used in a classroom, you could definitely set up a color chart and say, what kind of mood are you in? And use some of the language from the story. It's just great. It's got yellow and orange and red and all of these that speak to different moods. Brown. It's just a really great story, but it also has a story within a story. The mood is a story, but then what this young person goes through to be a part of his family, a part of his community, is a story in itself. That he's a younger kid and he has to not be easily accepted with the older siblings, or make sure he follows the rules and does his chores and gets home on time. And what does that cause him to think about or bring up in his mood? It's just a great book. It's a really great book to unpack a lot of different things that kids are feeling. And I'll tell you something else. This is off the dome. When I used to teach, I worked with some fabulous special education teachers. And one of the things that they taught me that they would do with their students is that they would use a clear water bottle, and they would add the different color, a little bit of oil, a little bit of like clear glycerin oil or whatever into the bottle, and then a little bit of glitter, multicolored glitter, and they will put that in a bottle too. And the kids who might need a moment to decompress, really get out some of their emotions, whether it be angry or being upset, or for whatever reason, they couldn't go to recess, they didn't make a good choice. Maybe school is just, it's a rough day, and they need a way to be able to express that in a more constructive way. They will be able to shake that bottle up with all of those colors, and sort of the colors and the glitter would go everywhere and all over the place. And then to help them decompress, they will put the bottle down on their desk, and the teacher would say to them, now once that everything is settled and there isn't any more color, because the clear water is going to come and all of that stuff is going to sink to the bottom, then we can transition, or we can talk, or we can go out for recess, or whatever needed to happen for that child to be able to have a moment of decompression. They would do that, and I would think about all of those colors floating around, and it would make me feel good. Like, I need one of those bottles on my desk dealing with these 8th graders. And so this book really speaks to a lot of that. It has so many wonderful concepts that can be developed to help a child use color to express themselves and to define some of the emotions and feelings that they're having, whether it be from an experience in school or at home, or to just fit in and be a kid. I love my cold plum lemon pie bluesy mood. I'm loving it. Go and get this one. It's a great book. Great book. Go and get it. Most of you know all of my books that I purchase comes from Scholastic. They don't sponsor. Scholastic, you could sponsor, but they don't sponsor. I purchase all of these books as part of my job to know what books are highly engaging, highly interesting, just wonderful books to place into the hands of kids throughout my community. And so I thought I would continue to share what I'm loving. And if you have books that you want me to take a look at, or that you're loving, just let me know so I can take a look at those books. I'm always looking at diversity. I'm always looking at books that are not didactic, that teach this specific language. But at this level with these picture books, I truly love books that bring pure joy. I'm trying to write books like that bring pure joy and laughter and giggles to young people, and foster a great love of reading. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been fabulous. It's been fabulous. I feel like I haven't talked to my Pizzo's Perfection community in a while. And I'm glad I was able to sit down after work, after doing some football stuff for my kids, after dinner and all of that kind of stuff, and still get to spend a moment with you. So please comment, subscribe, share, like. If you have a YouTube page, if you have a Facebook or an Instagram page, put me out there. I don't have those type of pages, social media, but put me out there and call some of your buddies to come and share in this community. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful, wonderful week and weekend. And just remember that perfection, never perfect, Enjoy who you are in your space and be blessed. Bye-bye. A little afraid he might leap at me. Just a little bit afraid.